my dad used to have me do these we weren't swimming, but we would do these pool workouts. Same thing, like a recovery pool workout. And I would put like the life vest on. Oh. And he just had me do like sprints in the deep end, so your feet aren't hitting the ground.
Oh, wow.
Full range, like just sprints. And I just remember that was like the most tired I've ever been.
Because you're not going anywhere.
No. And you can't cheat. You can't cheat the pool.
Yeah.
Because you just can't.
Right.
The water is so humbling.
Yeah. You'll stay still. You won't move.
No, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And you take that vest off too, and you start to like really like, you swim or drown, one or the other.
You were doing some pool training like a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. I still do a lot of that stuff. I don't swim as much like freestyle and breaststroke, but I do like a lot of same thing, like low impact plyometrics in the pool in the deep end.
What's bro's name out in
Laird
LA?
Hamilton.
Laird Hamilton and Gabby.
Laird and Gabby, yeah. And then Luca is another guy who I've become really good friends with. But they're, two of the best surfers in the world. And then Gabby's a stud in and of herself. She was a legendary beach volleyball player who she's just as much of a beast as them. Like she'll kick anyone's ass in the pool.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, those are tough workouts too.
Oh my God,
like
tough.
your dumbbells at the bottom of the pool. It's
and they can always get harder. And that's their mindset is as soon as it's easy, you need to add. Like it's never easy for them. And I've always I have so much respect for the way that they operate.
Yeah.
I recommend like anyone. I don't like not everyone has like it's not like an open door policy with them because they they want a certain type of person who can wants to go there and work.
Yep.
Which I have always respected. And if you do, man, it humbles you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But to your point, we talked about the spacing and timing and mindset. Yeah, I think it starts there. And you can't, you learn that in different sports. You learn that in doing things you're not good at. Mm-hmm. Like I thought I was the fastest kid on the planet. My freshman year is when I started running track. And I'm like, I'm about to win the state championship as a freshman because I just came off football season and basketball season. And in football, no one was catching me.
Right.
I'm like, if these are the same dudes running track, I'm going to kill it. I'm thinking in my head, I might run, I think my first meet I'll run 10.8. Dead serious, thought that in my head as a freshman in high school. I'm like, I'll run 10.8, 10.7 because I know these guys who are running 10.8 and 10.7 and I know I'm faster than them.
Right.
And I'm running like 11.75 freshman year of high school, getting like fourth.
I might have got with you freshman year, bro.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I looked like an idiot coming out of the blocks. I didn't understand that there's a way to run. Yeah. That's when I learned how to run, was track.
Yeah.
I thought I knew how to run because I was really fast on the football field. But
it's different coming out
those blocks. And it's humbling.
Yeah.
And it teaches you to truly compete with yourself.
Right.
Because I remember we ran against this kid, Raymond Bozeman. He ran at TCU. And he ran like 10.27 in a race that I was in. He beat me by like 20 meters.
10.27.
And in my head, I'm like, before the race started, I didn't have a chance. So how do you mentally stay in it and compete with yourself knowing you're going to lose? That's a weird place for an athlete to be in.
Yeah.
But you learn. You eventually learn.
Yeah. That competition with yourself.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about Laird Hamilton. I watched his documentary, and he was trying to set the record for the longest. It's not the longest surf, but it's like the surfboard, but it like comes out of the water, and he like developed the foil. Yeah. And he helped develop the technology, and he was like doing all the R&D on the shit. And it's like was only trying to compete with himself.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a record out there, but like he was trying to go out every day and like do this for him. And he was training the pool stuff, the breath holds, the diet, everything evolved around like, I'm going to go and do this because I'm going to compete against myself. I want to be the best. Yeah.
And it's so fascinating. All of them are that way. And so I'm curious about it because surfing's hard. Like you ever tried to surf? It's extremely difficult. But yeah, like there's not like a big wave surfing competition. It's like, what do you do then?
Yeah.
They have like, how we'll have the Weather Channel up? Like they have wave channels. So like wave radars. So they have a wave radar for every spot in the world, so they can track when the waves are going to hit. And so they'll get up in the morning, they'll have their coffee, they'll look where the waves are. Hey, there's a wave up off the coast of Washington State, here. Get on a flight, bring all their stuff. I think their sponsors pay for it, and they go shoot it. And they see who. It's a challenge within themselves of who can surf the biggest. And it's not always the biggest either, is what I learned. It's the most challenging wave.
Yeah.
And so that's how they train. They train, get your heart rate up to as high as you can, then go train. So they'll be in a 250-degree sauna for 20 minutes with a bike in there, like a fan bike or whatever. They'll be grinding in the sauna, and then they'll go do breath holds with weights underwater, because that's what they say. You're preparing to have the highest adrenaline peak, and then if you fall, it's like a pit bull with a chew toy underwater. And so you need to be able to hold your breath and be able to calm yourself down in complete chaos.
Right.
And you learn that training with them. It's trained.
Yeah. I want to say that's a different level of, like, a different mindset, but it translates across other high performing industry. I just watched the Alex Honnold documentary, Free Solo. I watched it for the second time. The first time I watched it through, was like super inspired by just his commitment to like want to go do this thing just for him.
Right.
And then the second time I was watching it because I wanted to see how it was shot, because I think it was a really well shot documentary. I was looking at the angles and stuff, but then just started just understanding more like his mindset and just kind of trying to get to understand him. And it really was like, he's not competing with others out there. It was really just this internal competition and trying to be the best that he could possibly be, because he couldn't look at himself in the mirror at the end of the day if he didn't go try to do that. If he didn't go try to climb El Cap, which nobody's ever free solo climbed, but he was like, I can do. He felt like he could do it.
Yeah.
It's dangerous ass shit, bro.
I know.
And trained, and after he climbed the shit, he's doing like the little grip holds on the pull-up bar.
Just
with 2 fingers.
Swag.
Come on, man. It's different, bro. It's different.
I think that's it, though. Like, I think when you ask me, like, why do you do it? It's a tough question to answer, but it's because there's a possibility that you can, and that's enough. Like, I think I can do this, and so why would I not? If I know I can be something, then that's what's moving me. Just the sheer point that I might be able to do it. And there's the fear of failure, of not getting there. Like, that's who are you playing against? You're playing against yourself that doesn't get there. That's who you're playing against. You're playing for the guy who didn't try. That's who you're playing against. Not like, you're obviously playing against the other team and your opponent, but like in the grand scheme of things, like, why do you train all year round? Why is it so important to you? Why do you make all these sacrifices? It's because you're performing against yourself that never did it. Like, to your point with Alex Honnold, like, he thought he could do something that no one else has ever done.
Yeah.
But deep down, I think he knew it. He knew he could do that.
Bro, that fear of failure is an interesting tidbit, man, that I feel like people don't talk about a lot. Like, it's the fear of not becoming that, or not winning that rep, or not being the best that you could possibly be. And oftentimes I think it sometimes gets caught up in the context of like trying to be better than the other person. But that fear of failure, really deep down, I think it should be like with the person in the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw a quote the other day, like, comparison is the thief of joy. And so it's such a hard combination of, I need to be better than who I was yesterday because I'm setting a high standard for myself, and I need to work as hard as humanly possible to accomplish my goal while having gratitude for where I'm at. And that's a really hard thing to do.
Tough line to dance, bro.
Yeah, very tough. Because, what's the quote? It's like, it's like, if you never have that joy either, and you're never, I understand being never satisfied. I resonate with that a lot. I think that's a very important way to live your life. But I also think it can be extremely dangerous, because then it's for what? You had no joy doing it. You didn't appreciate it. You didn't have gratitude towards the people that helped you get there, because it's not just you.
Yeah.
You didn't have gratitude and stop and smell the roses every once in a while. I think it's a fine line between both of those, and I would venture to say it's more never satisfied than being content.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ratio would be,
Right.
but you do have to be present and not look too much in the future of like, well, that didn't matter that I did this because I have something else coming.
Right. Right.
And I think that's, you have to have that attitude.
You got to have that.
And that needs to run your mind, but you need to understand that it can get in the way of happiness
Yeah.
as well.